record right now so that if you want, you can review this. So again, we highly encourage you to bring everything in under a separate project, and I'm going to show you how that works. Now, about halfway down on the left-hand side in those bunch of fields that are at the top there, there's one that says project. And right. I'm not sure what your last project, I'm not sure if they just brought everything in under separate projects and then put them under, yeah. Why don't we do this? Why don't
I was fine.
That was you playing around? Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we not run it on any particular criteria? So uncheck your test project there. If you use Control click, you can unclick it. Where you clicked on Test Jimmy, you want to uncheck that. So Control click and it will be okay. Just hit the search button up in the upper right hand corner, or you can do Control S, or you can just hit enter. And let's see how many. Okay, so without even leaving it to a particular project, it looks like you have 246 old tasks out there that are still active. Now, when you run a search, you get your results. If there's nothing, it won't find anything. It only lists 10 per page, so you have 25 pages there that you can scroll through with this pagination feature here. You can jump to the last page, jump to a particular page. But what I would like for you to do is just double click on any one of those lines in there and open up one of those tasks. All right, so this, it didn't show it, but this was from 14.0. All right, this particular project, somebody disabled the project, that's why it didn't show up in the list. But when you open up the task, you can see what project it was in. So this is back from 2017. All right, click back on the search tab to go back to your search results, or you can click the back arrow. Search tab is at the top. There we go. So here's something else for you to know and learn. When you run a search in StreamTask, your results will stay there, just whatever you ran the search on, until you either clear it, change the criteria and run it again, or log out. So no matter what we do in here today, we can go from one tab to the next to do all kinds of things. Your results will remain here until you do one of those other things to make a change to it, okay? So what we want to do, though, is I think we want to put all of these active tasks into a final purgeable status so that we can kind of get them off of everybody's list. All right? Right. We're not going to blow them away. They'll still be there if people need to reference them for some reason, or you get audited or something like that. You can go and find them, but we're just going to kind of hide them for now. So the way we do that is we go up to the top in the ribbon. There's a button or a term that says batch. Underneath the search tab, you can batch. And what this does is it takes everything you found in your search and puts it on this page where we can make universal changes to all or some of these tasks, no matter whatever we want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in some type of a completed status so we can hide them. All right. So at the top, there's a field that says status. I want you to click into the drop down and let's see what you have. Unfortunately, well, I'm not sure it's all that important at this point. Some of our customers, what they like to do is create a status that I call a different flavor of completed, because in the StreamTask world, completed means it was tested and it worked the way it was supposed to and we're done with it. Happy ending. Right. But yes, these were never actually tested and completed. So it's up to you. We can, for now, we can just say, you know what, it doesn't matter. We're just going to complete them anyway. Or if you wanted to, we could create a new status of something like completed, not tested, or completed old project, or something like that. Which
so that this way we are starting out fresh, and I know where we stand. And if we need to get to this, we can just go, go to them.
All right, so you want to create the new status.
Yes.
All right, so click on your dictionary tab again. We can always come back to this, and you're going to click on status, which will take you to the status dictionary. All right, again, you have lots of statuses, and they're probably great. Let's just scroll through the list and see if maybe you had a status at one time that indicated things were completed but not. If you keep going, anything that's been disabled would be at the bottom. Nope. Okay, so we're going to create a new status. So you're going to call it something like completed old project or completed not tested, so you know why they were completed. Okay. And then you're going to check that enabled box on the just to the right of. I suggest when we fill things in, you kind of want to go left to right, top to bottom for the most part.
Okay.
You have to choose a work group, or if you want it to be available to all work groups, you can just click on none. But you only have one work group, it doesn't matter either way. So you can click on that. The sorting rank, usually things that like completed or deleted or completed old project, you kind of want those at the bottom of the list. So you could even give it the same sorting rank that completed has, or you could call it 99. Completed and deleted are 99. It just means when you sort by status in a list, those things are going to be at the bottom unless you sort in reverse order. Okay, so the lower the number, the higher the ranking. Okay.
All right.
Now this is important. For statuses, 99% of the time, you either want it to be an active status or what we call a final purgeable status. For something like completed or completed old project, you want it to be final purgeable. So below the workgroup field, there's 3 little check boxes. You want to check the final purgeable. That means it's not an active task. We're done with it. We've finished what we needed to do, and we're setting it aside, and it's not on anybody's list anymore. You can still go find it, but it's not going to show up on people's lists. Okay.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about start dates and target dates and template. So all you need to do right now is click Save or Control S if you like keystrokes. Anything with an underlined letter, you can do the Control whatever. So let's save it. And now you can see you have a new status in your list of completed old project, and it's ranked at 99. It's a final purgeable status, and it's part of the Paragon testing work group. Excellent. All right, so now let's go back to search and batch. Our search results are still there. We can batch. You can also do, I think you can do Control B to get to the batch page.
Okay.
Now let's go to the status dictionary or status field and pick that. Now here's something else that's important to know. You could, I can't really tell because a lot of these assignees I think were disabled, but in order to put something in a final purgeable status, it has to be assigned to someone. So what I usually tell customers is, you're the one who's doing this right now. Just assign them all to yourself at the same time that we put them in this status. Okay, so very good. You don't have to assign it first and then go and put it in the status. You can do it at the same time. All right. Next, we need to decide which tasks we're going to apply this to, and we're going to do it to all of them. So at the bottom of the list, there's a button that says Select All. You could click on individual tasks in the list if you wanted to, but we want to make this change to all of these tasks. So you're going to click Select All, and then you're going to click Save. And it's going to update all the tasks, and they will now be in this new completed old project status, and they will all be assigned to you. We still can't see the projects for, I don't know about all of them, but at least the ones at the top. For this particular list, when you're on the batch page, you can scroll and see all of the tasks. Whereas on the search page, you're limited to 10 per page. So if you use the scroll bar, you can go and see that they're all assigned to you in a completed old project status. And for whatever reason, the projects were already disabled, even though the tasks were still out there. Okay, very good. So now, this will show you how this works. Go back to the search tab again. And I want you to notice that everything here still looks the same, right?
Right.
And that's because it doesn't change unless you run the search again or make a change to your criteria and run it, or you clear it. If you just click search or enter again, I want you to try that first. Just click, no, not the search tab, the search button at the bottom to actually run the search. There we go. Okay, now it's saying 0, and it's saying 0 because they're no longer active. If you went up to the top of the page and clicked the button that said included active tasks, they would show up. But I don't want you to do that because everything out there that's an inactive status is going to show up. But believe me, they're there. Okay?
Okay.
So we've done our cleanup. So now there's no junk on anybody's list. Very good. That wasn't too difficult.
No, not at all.
So now what would typically happen before you actually do the conversion again would be to update your user dictionary, make sure you get any new users built, and then put them in the work group. If you have users that are no longer with the organization or no longer involved with the Paragon update testing, you can disable them. They can always be re-enabled later if they come back or whatever, but it kind of cleans up the list so that you don't have all these users showing up that have nothing to do with what you're working on. And I'm not going to go through and do that with you right now, but I will caution you. It's up to you how you want to do this process, because we can meet with you as many times as necessary. When it comes to converting the documentation, what most modules have is what all modules have to have is a task type that's assigned to it, which is basically the same as the module. And for your task types, you can have auto assignees selected so that when you convert the release notes, everything that goes to accounts payable gets to assign to the person or persons who are going to be doing the testing. Everything that comes in for, CPOE or CCS or ambulatory or whatever module can be set up so that when you convert, it's automatically assigned to the person or persons who need to be working those tasks.
Where do we do that?
We do that in the task type dictionary. So you click on the dictionary tab and then click on type in the ribbon. So this is our task type. This will take you to our task type dictionary. Again, the task types correspond with the modules. So you have things like accounts payable, ambulatory care, app security, CCS, and whatnot. Okay? Just so you know, you can call your task types whatever you want. Whatever makes sense to you. We've never limited our customers and said, you have to call this module this and that module that, all right? However, the caveat to that is, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, some of the files that you need to load for this update are in a newer format because Allscripts has made changes. I'm sure you're aware of this. And what they did was they gave you guys a PDF or made it available, which had very little information in it and mostly no testing steps at all. So customers contacted Allscripts and said, wait a minute, we like the testing steps. A lot of our StreamTask customers did. So what they said was, okay, we'll give you a spreadsheet with testing steps. So the issue was, how do we get all this stuff in the same place and in these tasks in StreamTask? So what we did was we created a new format for the PDF so we could convert it, and we did that. And then we exported it to a spreadsheet and we merged it with the other spreadsheet so that everything is in a spreadsheet. So for that, you're going to have to do a little bit of a different process. And the issue is, because we can't give every different customer a different spreadsheet with their particular task type names, you will have to edit your task type names to match those that we give you in a list. And you don't have to do it right now, because for the files that we're going to convert today, it's the old way. It's not in a spreadsheet. It's a text file. But
Okay.
I just want to make you aware of that. So,
Gotcha.
And none of our customers have balked about it. Yeah, you don't have to create new task types. You just have to change what you call them. So I tell people, it's like when I got married, my last name changed, but I'm still the same person. So it's the same for you. It's the same module. You're just going to call it what we want to keep it uniform. It just makes it easier so we can deliver these spreadsheets to all of our customers. And we don't have to edit them for every customer, and every customer doesn't have to edit it for themselves. So
okay,
we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I'm just telling you that up front. However, this is another caveat with the system. For the particular module or task type that you're on right now, it says the auto assignee is Stephen Potter. If you were to convert a file right now, anything that came in for app security would be assigned to Stephen Potter. Issue is, what if Stephen Potter is not the person who's supposed to be assigned anymore? You can't convert the release notes and create the tasks and then come in here and change the assignee. It will not update the tasks, because that would be like updating everything that happened for the last 10 years and changing the auto assignees, which doesn't make sense. So keep that in mind. If you want to make sure that the auto assignees are correct, you want to edit your task types here and get the right people on before you convert. If you don't, for some reason, you don't have time or whatever, you can do a batch update and change the assignee. So you do it just like we did the cleanup. You go and search and find all of the application security tasks or whatever they are for the project you're working on, go to the batch page and make somebody different the auto assignee, and it would update all the tasks at the same time. Does that make sense?
Would you mind walking me through that step, please?
Sure. So you want to update the task types, or you want to do a batch update? Let's do this first. We can just do this for practice, because I want to actually take you through the conversion process. I will step you through that, and I can show you how that works. So the two files that I sent you already that were scrubbed, one of them was on your list that you sent us, the 14.1.3.1 supplemental from December. I sent you an email, okay? What they did after that was they updated the original 14.1.3 or 2 release, and they added or deleted or updated some work items. So what we did, instead of having to load the whole file all over again and get all this stuff you didn't need, at the time, Paragon sent us just what was different, just what was new, updated. And so it's a small little file, so you can just add what's new, okay?
Okay.
So as I said before, for every release, we suggest you bring it in under a separate project. So I want to go to the project dictionary. If you click on the dictionary tab, all right, you default to the project dictionary, all right, and you're going to want to build a project for this supplemental. So you're going to call it something like 14.1.2 December 2017. I would just to make it easier to see the project names, I wouldn't put project at the beginning of it because these are all projects. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So what you usually do is make the project name whatever the release is. So this is 14.1.2 December 2017 supplement. And you can, you can do December 17 supplement, and that's 2017, just to make it short and sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to want to attach it to the work group. So choose Paragon testing work group in the work group field right below. Nope. In the field right below where you gave it a name. Yep, you have to attach the project to the work group that it's part of, and then you're going to want to check that enabled box. Okay. If you don't enable it, it won't be available. It's kind of like it's hidden, and then you're going to want to save. All right. So what you did was you just created a new project. All right. We might as well just create another project for the subset file. Again, when in the past, when McKesson revised the release notes, not a supplement, this is different. This is a revision to a particular file where they either added work items or updated work items, which usually meant they updated the testing steps. They would send us a file, a PDF file with just what was different, so that you as a customer could load only what was new or updated rather than having to load the whole entire thing all over again. So we call these subset files. So the file I sent you is the 14.1.2 December 17 subset. So as opposed to a supplemental, it's a subset. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Same thing, you're going to want to enable it and attach it to the work group and then save. So now you got 2 new projects. Before we leave here, why don't we get rid of some old projects that you don't need, like that 14.1.1 December 2018 supplemental. Click on it, and then all you have to do is uncheck the enabled box and then save. Now, I'm not sure how they use that completed projects. I don't understand why you need to have a project called completed projects, but
right.
I would get rid of that. I think maybe at one time somebody thought, oh, when we're done with something, we're going to update the project to completed project. The problem is you don't know what project it came from in the first place if you do that. So,
right.
All right. And that Paragon test kit, you can probably get rid of that. Again, it's still there. It's just hidden.
Right.
If you want to disable your test project, that's fine. So now, in other words, I suggest you only have active or enabled the projects you're actually using. So these are the first 2 releases that we're going to convert. All right. So to convert a file, that happens on the interfaces page. So you're going to click on the interface tab, and it automatically defaults to this page where, and I'm going to walk you through how this works. Basically, what we have here is a list of all the modules, or at least all the modules that were used previously. And for each module, it is mapped to have a requester, a work group, a priority, the request date, project, task type, and so on. And the way it works here is we convert all the modules at once. So but this first step is to actually upload the file. So you're going to want to browse for that text file that I sent you. And I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that for these older files, we have the ability to have links in the tasks that go directly to the PDF. That way, if there was any screenshots or things like that, because those kinds of things don't get pulled into StreamTask. If you browse for the file and the PDF, it will build the links. I'm not saying you have to do that. I think we're going to kind of do this as a practice anyway, but it might be good if you have that PDF file. I didn't send you the PDF file because
the ones which I sent you?
You already sent it to me, so I know you guys can get the PDF files off of the website, right? So, but I'm not sure if you saved it somewhere.
I have it. So we're doing this 14.1.2.
We're gonna do the December supplemental. But yep. And then then you would browse for the PDF.
In the supplemental?
Yeah, well, it's 14.1.2 December. Yeah, I see it. No, maybe not. I know you sent it to me.
These are the release notes.
I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't think, I could be wrong.
Because I saw supplemental for December 17. The only thing which I had seen was the release notes for December 17.
Yeah,
I sent you these 3 files, and then I sent you the other 5 or 6 files, which was a supplemental.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at that you sent me, it doesn't say it's a supplemental though. December 2017. But it must be because that's the date of it. So I think they, sometimes they're a little sloppy sometimes with how they label things. So I think that's the correct file. All right. The bottom line is if it's not, we can always get rid of it and do it again. Now this is important. The field to the left where it says raw file format, you're going to want to choose major 2. And just so you know, for all the text files that we scrub, we send you the assistance document. The assistance document will tell you what release, what PDF, what modules, how many work items, how many total, and the raw file format. We have it in there as a reminder, so you know. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing now is we're not converting. We're just uploading the file. It's a kind of a 2-step process. That way we'll know if there's any new modules. So if you click that upload button, just click on upload. And then you get this message here where it says new modules added, none. So no new modules were added to the list. And then it lists all of the existing modules that are in this particular file. All right, which makes me think that it might, yeah, okay. So one thing I want you, well, let's do this. The next step is to make sure that everything's mapped properly. Now, all of these modules in the list have already been mapped. Anything, but I want you to scroll through the list. Why does it look like you have hardly any modules built? Oh, everything's been disabled. Hey. Okay, well, we're gonna have to fix that. So let's do this. Let's do what we call a batch update to get everything enabled again. So you see that little enabled box in the middle of step 2 there? I want you, that's saying, well, don't uncheck it. But what I'm saying is if we check that box, And then we go to the field that says batch, which right now is showing no. It's like step three down and one to the right. There we go. If you click on that drop down, we're going to say enable, disable only. So basically what we're telling it is we want every single thing in this list to be enabled. Okay, so click save or do Control S, because if the modules are not enabled, it won't convert the work items. Okay, so now everything's enabled, and you probably have stuff in here that you don't need anymore because either Paragon changed the name of the module, because the module name here in the left-hand column is exactly what they call it in the release notes. If they change the name from one release to the next, it creates a new module because it doesn't know that, you know.
What do we have and what we.
Well, it first of all, it doesn't know that it's a new name. It thinks it's a different name. It thinks it's something else because they called it something else. So, and there's some modules that they use, like those appendix things. They haven't done those in a while. So anyway, it's better to have more modules enabled than you need than not have everything that you need, if that makes any sense. So, all right, so now everything's active. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to update the module mappings for everything to make user requester. And it's all the same work group. It's going to be all the same priority, all the same dates, all the same project. The only thing you're never, ever, ever, ever going to want to batch update is the task type, because the task types are what determine the auto assignees and all those things. So the only things you want to batch update are the requester, and you're going to choose yourself. So in the field where it says requester, click on the drop down and choose yourself, because you're the one. This is not the same as the assignee. This is the person who's doing the conversion. Okay.
Yeah.
The work group, choose your work group, is going to be your Paragon testing work group. The priority is going to be default, because when you first convert them, you don't know how important they are. So everything comes in kind of as a default. The request date is going to be today, because this is the day that you're doing this conversion. The task type, you're not going to fill that in. The project is that first project that we created for the supplemental. Okay. The target date is usually a couple weeks before go live. And do you have a go live date by chance?
No, not yet. But I think, yeah, it's not too far. It's like a week or so. It can be changed though later on, right?
Yes, your go live is like a week from now.
Yeah, I think the whole thing has to be done before the end of the month. There's something that's very critical.
Okay, so all right, so I'll let you pick a date. This is it's not all that important. I'm pretty sure that anybody who's got to do this testing is going to know when they need to get it done by.
Right.
So, but pick a date that makes sense to you. Usually it's a couple weeks before your go live. All right, and then don't worry about the alternate tag field. And where it says batch now, you want to click on the drop down again in the batch field. And this time you're going to choose fields only. So before we click save, what you're telling the system is for every single module in this list, this is what I want these fields to say. I want this to be the requester, the work group, the default, or the priority, the project, so on. The only thing, again, you never want to batch update to one thing is the task type. So if you click save, it's going to update your list. And again, you can do save or Control S. So now, for all of these task types, if you scroll through the list, they're all in the same project with the same dates and the same work group and the same priority and the same requester.
Gotcha.
Okay, which is what you want, because these are everything we bring in. Even though there's not going to be work items for all these modules, it's the easiest way to get everything updated to the new project. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I can tell you right now, these couple of ambulatory ones. Do you use ambulatory care practice management?
I do not know.
You don't know. So let's make sure we bring them in just in case. So click on, if you click on the first one where it says ambulatory care hyphen practice management, I want you to disable that one because it's definitely not, hang on a second before I shoot myself. Yeah, it's definitely not called that anymore. That hyphen, as far as the system is concerned, is like a totally new name. So at one time they used a hyphen. So you can just click on, uncheck the enabled box, right, and save. It's just going to move it to the bottom of the list. This one, I think is the correct one. And if you're not sure whether or not you use it, you're going to want to make sure it's got a task type on it. So if you go up in the fields above where it says task type, you want to, yeah, right there to the right where it says task type, you want to choose. See, now you don't have that a task type for that. I have a feeling you guys don't use ambulatory. But you don't know for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Well, this is what you could do. For all intents and purposes, I'm kind of thinking we're doing this as practice anyway, because you haven't updated your user dictionary or your auto assignees. So you can either convert it without getting these work items, but then you'd have to add them later. And there's, and it is possible to convert one module if you know you need them, but you need a task type for it. So if you do want to convert it now, then we need to go and create a new task type for ambulatory care. So that's up to you. I don't know if there's anybody or how quick.
Yeah, we are asking them right now. We're checking with them. Okay.
All right. So while we're waiting, let's disable Appendix A and Appendix B because you're not going to. I know you're not going to need those. Those are no longer. Every once in a while, they would throw in these weird chapters. Make sure you save it. Okay, and that one.
Oh, we got to do them individually, right?
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, because you don't want to disable everything all over again. All right, so let's scroll down to the bottom while you're waiting to find out about ambulatory. Click on one of those. Click on one of those disabled modules. You click on any one of those, and then you see there's a button that says expunge on the bottom. You can get rid of it.
Okay.
If for some reason they changed the name of the module back to that with the hyphen, it would just add it back into the list, but I wouldn't worry about it. So you can get it out of the way, not only disable it, but just get rid of it because I don't think you need it.
Get off it, so it doesn't just, it's not showing up over there at all.
Yeah, so if you hit expunge, it's going to go away.
Let me try it with appendix, which you were.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
And again, every time you upload a file, if something is new or it's not in the list for what, even if you say you accidentally expunged it, it would add it back into the list and you would just have to make sure you map it. But anyway, any word on ambulatory care?
Oh yeah, they don't think they use it.
Okay, very good. So let's disable that one too and just get it out of the way. Go up to the top and unclick enable, and save. Yeah, all right. Very good. All right, so I'm sure we have a lot of modules in here that are not included in this particular file because either they were something they used temporarily or they changed the name or whatever, but that's okay. As long as if you have some that don't exist, it doesn't matter. It's only going to convert the work items for the modules that are actually in the file. Okay?
Right.
So if you scroll down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see there where it says step 3. Now this is important. I always advise people. This tells you the last file and the last PDF that were uploaded, okay? So that you know, you could stop right here if you wanted to and sign out of StreamTask, go to lunch, come back. If you come back, those files are still there, and then you could convert them then. In other words, you don't have to upload them again just because you didn't do it right now. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So, and I don't think it even matters what's in that status field or whatever, but if you wanted to, you could just click clear, and that way you wouldn't be clicked on any particular module. It's where expunge and save are. Just click clear. It's not going to get, so if you scroll down, everything is still there. It says it's ready to convert. So all you have to do is click that convert button next to major 2. Now go ahead and click. Now you see where a little button popped up underneath it that says refresh?
Right.
You click on that. It's kind of like it's pausing, and sometimes it pops up several times, and you just click it. Okay. I'm pretty sure let's see. Oh, perfect. All right, now you'll see that it also tells you, it gives you a status, and it says number of tasks created 10, right? If you were to look at the assistance document I sent you, according to this, it said you should have gotten 11 tasks. So for some reason we missed one. Oh, I see. I know why.
Was it the one which you sent earlier?
No, let's go stay in StreamTask. I'm going to show you how we check out what we got. Remember I said everything's going to be under a separate project. But if you should check it against the assistance document, but we're going to go and run a report. In StreamTask, we're going to run a report and see exactly what you got, why and what 10 you got by module. Okay. And it's possible something wasn't mapped. So if you click on the reports tab at the top, we're going to go, and when you get in there, you're going to click on the very first report in blue at the left, the A1 report. This is our kind of our go-to report for checking on these. All you're going to do is choose the project name. Now everything, whether it's enabled or disabled, is in there, but choose the project and then just hit enter or submit query. Okay, so this is what you just converted. You got 1 for accounts payable, which is right if you check against the assist doc, 1 for clinical care station, 1 for clinician hub, 2 for CPOE, 1 for order management, 3 for pharmacy, and 1 for prescription writer. You did not get any for payroll. Do you guys use the payroll module?
Okay. No, we don't.
No? So
no.
You got exactly what you needed because you.
I'm sorry, Jamil. He.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. No, we don't use payroll. We use different system for that. So that takes 1. That makes sense. We have 10 more. Okay.
So just, that's why we send you the assistance document. The file might have 11 work items in it, but if you don't use payroll, you don't want that work item. So you don't build a task type for it. You don't map it and you don't get it. So now you know you got what you need and nothing more and nothing less. That make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, very good. All right, let's go back to the interfaces tab and let's convert that other file that I sent you that just has those revised or new work items from the original 4.1.2. So if you browse for the file, this is the subset file. There we go. And I don't think I didn't send you the PDF, but
Did I send you a PDF?
For this one, you wouldn't have the PDF for this. This is McKesson sent only us the PDF of, and it's only got 7. It's only got 7 work items. Most of them were updated. Only one of them is new. So you don't have to do the PDF links, so let's not worry about that right now. But you do have to choose the raw file format again, and it's the same major 2, and then click upload. And that say, yeah, that's okay. I didn't want the PDF. That's all right. It's just reminding you. Okay. Now let's look at the status message again. It says new modules added, none. That's good. Existing models, those are the modules that are included in this particular file. Again, if it added something that you didn't have, but you don't use it, you don't care. Don't worry about don't worry about mapping it. You can just leave it. You can disable it and not worry about it. Okay, now, before we convert this file though, we want to batch update the list so that they go to the proper project, because we created a separate project for the subset. So in the map field section, all you need to do is change the project. All the rest of it is going to stay the same, right? You're still the requester. All you need to do now is change the project and then choose batch fields only. At the lower right, there we go. Because that's the only thing you want to change. You're still the requester. The dates are the same. The work group's the same. The priority's the same. It's just the project. Because again, every release, it's best to bring it in under a separate project. Now, click Save so it updates the list to the new project. All right, so now these are all for the subset as opposed to the supplemental. Look at the bottom. You got the file you want. We didn't upload the PDF. That's okay. Click Convert. Refresh. It says you got 7 tasks. And how many are on the assistance document? 7. If you want to see exactly what you got, you go and run that report. Go to the Reports tab, choose the A1 report, choose this project, which is the subset, hit Enter or Submit Query, and you can tell by the assistance document. You got 4 for Clinician Hub, 1 for EDIS, 1 for Med Admin, and 1 for Med Reconciliation, total of 7. Got everything you wanted. Okay. Now I'll add a little, I want to run a couple searches here and show you what the tasks look like. So if you click on the Search tab, let's search on that first project that we did, the supplemental. Click on just the project, not the type. There we go, project. There we go. And I'm going to talk about primary and other projects in a minute. This is why I'm having you do this. So click Search or hit Enter, and you should get those 10 tasks. If you double click on any one of these and open them up, you can see what it looks like. And if you look right above your cursor where it says View Original Work Item, there's a little link there to the work item ID. If you click on that link, no, right underneath where, right to the right of the testing notes, go down where it says View Original Work Item. That's the PDF link. Click on that link. Let's see if we had the right file. Oh, I'm not sure why I did that. All right, click your back arrow. I got to figure out why. I got to figure out why we got an error on that. What it should have done is opened up the PDF right to that work item. But
there was no PDF for this one, was it?
No, for the supplemental there was, or it wouldn't have even built the link.
Supplement we had for the sublet even.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I'll have to figure out why the link isn't working, but I'll have to talk to a programmer about that. But if it was working, what it would do is open up a new tab in your browser, right to the PDF so that you could look at the original documentation. Again, when you convert into StreamTask, you don't get any kind of pictures, no screenshots if there were any, and that kind of thing. So this is a way to make sure there's nothing that you're missing that was in the original documentation. And you don't have to leave the task. It goes right to the page where that work item is, and you can look at it.
A question for you.
Yes.
Like for what we're looking at right now, the assignee is Tony Cangelosi. She's no longer with us.
Yep.
Is there a weekend batch?
Yes. This is partly why we're going through this process. I don't know if you were here when I was telling her, Preet, that if you want to have the auto assignees work correctly, the best way to do it is to make sure before you start converting files that you have all your auto assignees in your task types correct. So in this case, for accounts payable, if Tony's no longer there, you would want to, before you convert anything else, is what I'm saying, you're going to want to make sure you go and update the task type for accounts payable to have the right auto assignee.
But after the fact, you still can batch it and change it, right?
Yes. So if you change the auto assignee on the task type now, it's not going to change it for this task that already exists or any other tasks from the past. Okay.
Yeah,
so let's do a batch. If we want to do a batch update, click the search tab again, and it's going to go back to your results. Now, how many work items were in here for accounts payable? Only one. So you could do a batch update, but if there's only one task, you could have just changed the assignee in the task. But I want to show you how it works. Okay?
Okay.
So let's go to the batch page. You either do Control B or go up top and click batch in the ribbon. All right. It's going to pull all the tasks up. But now you don't want to change the assignee for all of these. You only want to change it for that first one, right? For accounts payable. So click on that first task in the list. At the bottom in the list, click on that first task with Tony's name on it, okay? So instead of selecting all, we're only selecting this one task. Again, it's kind of crazy to batch update one task, but I just want you to see how the process works. So if you uploaded 20 work items assigned to Tony, you could search on the task type in the project and just get those accounts payable tasks, and then batch update all 20 at once. But in this case, there's only one. So you can still do it here, but you have to select the one that you want to change. You don't want to select all of these, or all of these are going to get assigned to that person.
Yeah.
Right.
So all you need to do is change where it says assigned to. You're going to choose the new assignee, not Tony. If you know who it is, do you know who it is?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Oh. Okay, well, you knew that was you. Very good. All right, and then you click save, and it's just going to update that one task. How about any of these other ones? If you scroll through the list, are any of those people supposed to be different?
Yeah. Ken, and Todd. Yeah, all the other people are right.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go back to the search page. Now again, remember what I told you? Nothing changed here, right? Because it saves your results. If you click search again at the bottom, or you just hit enter, it will update it. It's going to be the same list, except it changed the assignee, right? Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so now let's change the project that we're searching on. So all you have to do is go up, and where you clicked on the supplemental, now click on the subset and hit enter or search, whichever you want to do. Now, do any of these need to be updated? It looks like med admin, whoever the auto assignee is, has been disabled. So why don't you double click on that med admin task?
Where am I looking at?
The second one from the bottom in the list, you can see for Med Admin, there's no assignee showing up, so double click and open it up. It was assigned to Rachel Wong. So if you click on the assignee drop-down field, all right, I think she's probably been disabled, so I don't know why she's still showing up in the list. So if you know who the assignee is supposed to be, you can choose that person now. Or you can go do the batch update, but it's only one task.
You need to add that. You can do jump for now.
All right, and then save. So if it's just one, it's up. There we go. All right. It looks like you guys keep track of time, or you want people to keep track of time.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Okay.
How could this?
I don't think.
How could this have time in it from 2016?
That's a long test.
It's a long task. And they spend minutes on it.
That's interesting. Didn't we just create this task today? Yes, 9/3, and it's got time in it from 2016. That's odd. I don't know how that happened. Well, what you can do, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. But for, just so you know, it looks like you guys have set your task types up so that when people save their changes, it goes right to the time log page to kind of gently remind them to enter their time. I'm guessing with how quickly you guys want to get through this that nobody's going to be entering their time. So you don't have to. You just click save again. If you click save again, it's going to go back to the list. There we go. All right. That was weird. Now, if you hit search again, it will update that, so you'll see.
All right. Kimberly's name.
So Todd is okay on those other ones? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So one other thing I wanted to just bring to your attention here. If you click on that line in the ribbon there between title and type, you can widen that title column so you can see more of it. There you go. There we go. See? All right. So this is what I want to show you. These work items here that you just uploaded for this subset, these are all, except for that one, which is new. These work items were updated. So they were already in your system for the 14.1.2 for the supplemental, but for some reason they made changes to them. So what that means is that you have duplicate work items. So just be aware of that. What I usually tell people is, first of all, we could run a report to find all the duplicates, and then you could decide which ones you wanted to get rid of and which ones you wanted to keep. Again, you guys are kind of on a tight time frame here, so
right.
I would just tell your testers, and I can demonstrate this for you. If you go back up top, click on both projects at the same time. Use your control click. No, on the project field for the search. In other words, if we want to find all of these, if you do control, click on the supplemental. You can highlight both things, both projects. Use your control button and click on the supplemental now.
You
want to highlight both of them. There we go. Okay, and you can do that for all the fields. You can search on multiple users, multiple statuses, multiple task types, multiple projects. So click search and it's going to pull up all 17 tasks, all right?
Right.
So do this for me. Click on the word title in the burgundy ribbon there at the top of the list. If you click on title, it's going to sort by title.
Okay.
And of course, it's only showing you the first 17. But this is a quick way that people could find out if there's duplicates within their particular modules. So
okay.
I'm not sure if this was a revision of the supplemental or a revision of the original file. I'd have to check on that. Yeah, I think this was a revision of the original 14.1.2, which you guys, is that what you have in live?
No, 1.1.
1.1.
Oh,
we have 1.
Okay, so if you're at 14.1.1, you're going to have to load the original 14.1.2 file, which has 495 work items. Okay, but you know what? I don't want you to do that until you get your task types updated. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you get your user dictionary updated, get your task types dictionary updated, create a new project for the 14.1.2. You could do that now if you want to create a project for it. Because I don't want you to have to keep doing these batch updates of the assignees. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I forgot to send you the list. I said I was sending it in my email. I didn't. I'm going to send you a revised list of all the files you need to get from where you are to where you're going. And here's another question. Are you at the 14.1.1? Are you at the, what supplemental are you at in 14.1.1? Do you know?
I think we're September.
September.
I think.
So you might need a couple of 14.1.1 files. I have to look at the list and see. So in other words, I want you to get all the work items you need. I know that the code that they update is all inclusive, but the way they do their testing documentation, there's separate releases for each set of code as it came out. So I have a complete list of all of the releases that we have and have scrubbed. So I'll make sure you get a list of what you're going to need to get you from where you're at to where you're going. Okay. Let me see here. Master list. So 14.1.1, you said September?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's 3 supplements. Actually, you only need 2 supplements. No, you're at September. So there's 1 supplemental that they released in December of 2018 with 56 work items. And then you're also going to need the original 14.1.2 because we just loaded the supplement.
Right.
So, okay, so now I know where you're at. I'm going to send you a revised list. I'm going to send you the files. But you need to update your user dictionary. Make sure you get new users in the work group and then update your auto assignees. Any questions on how to do that?
No, I think if I have to, then I'll just go through the video. You're going to send me the link, right?
Yeah, I will. I probably won't be able to.
Once I do like a couple of them, I think, once I start adding them.
Yeah, I mean,
I add one.
it's basically you're just making an edit. If you click on any one of these task types, see who the auto assignee is. If it's not correct, change it and save it. Okay. So
Right.
That's pretty easy. For the user dictionary, you're going to want to, any users that are no longer there, you're going to want to disable them so they're out of the way. I don't know why that one was showing up. The last name was Wong. I don't know why it showed up in the drop down, even though it seemed like that person had been disabled. Those are for, just so you know, I should probably tell you this. You can have multiple assignees on tasks.
Okay.
So if for a particular task type, there should be a primary assignee. That's the auto assignee field. And then if there's other assignees, you can choose them in the field you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have others if you don't have a primary. Does that make sense? You know?
Right.
And if you don't know who the assignee is, you can just leave the auto assignee blank and it will come in unassigned. And then whoever's supposed to be testing it could go look for it based on the task type, or you could assign it to yourself and then later on batch update it to whoever it's supposed to go to. It's up to you. But it is possible to convert if there's no auto assignee. So, all right, so I'm going to send you an updated list. I'm going to send you the files. The problem is when you get to the 14.1.3.1 May supplemental, that was the first file in the new format. So what we give you is a spreadsheet as opposed to a text file. So I would suggest we plan. You guys can get working on this, but we can plan another meeting so that I could go over that with you and help you get. There's two files. There's two supplements now, May and August. I'm assuming you're going to need both.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I suggest again we set another meeting to kind of, because it's a little bit different process. If you click on the interface tab again, for what we've been doing up until these new ones, you're going to use this interface right here. You're going to use this update or this release notes conversion page. If you, in the ribbon, if you click on import Excel, what we're going to do is we're going to build, it looks like somebody built a template for some kind of third-party apps task they wanted to create. Anything anything you can put in a spreadsheet, you can import into StreamTask. So I'll help you guys. I'll help you build a template and get those last two supplements loaded. But again, that's where you're going to have your task types matching what we have. So I will send you a follow-up email with everything that needs to be done. And again, if you want to meet, if you have any questions, whatever, email me, call me. We'll get it done.
Sure.
Okay?
The first and foremost thing I'm going to do is in the dictionaries, update the user and the type.
Yep. Once you do that, for all the files that I send you, then you can just build new projects, go to the interface tab, browse for the file. If there's any new modules, that's the caveat. If it brings any new modules into the list that you need, you have to make sure you have a task type for it and that you map it. And you can map an individual, module. You don't have to do a batch update just to map the new one. You're going to have to put the task type in there anyway. Then you convert, run your report, make sure you got what you needed, and just kind of go from there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to let you go so you can get to work, and I'll get to work on what I need to get to you. I'm here until 4:30 today. So, again,
Eastern?
Yes, Eastern time. So
Eastern time.
Only 3:30 your time.
Right.
All right. But either way, if you have any questions, give us a jingle or send me an email, and we'll get it figured out. Okay?
Sounds very good. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. I probably can't get you this recording. I'll have to see, but I might not be able to get it to you till tomorrow because we usually put them on. We put them on our YouTube channel. So, but either way, I will get that to you as well. Okay.